know, everyone keeps whispering how shady it is that Ray J is always out here backing Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Turns out, the tea is even hotter. Ray J is allegedly the fixer. And get this, allegedly, he and Beyoncé were hooking up right in front of Jay-Z while he supposedly just watched.
I know that Jay-Z is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch Beyoncé with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyoncé while Jay-Z would watch. Diddy, as we know, is in it.
Now, word on the street is that Brandy supposedly knows about the fling between her brother and Beyoncé. And yes, allegedly, there's a tape. Let's be real, people, I haven't seen it myself, but I'm just delivering the tea as it's been poured. So here's the deal. For years, folks have been throwing side eyes at Ray J, asking why he's always first in line to defend Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Every single time their names get tangled in drama, Ray J pops up preaching respect, loyalty, blah blah blah. Case in point, Ray J dragged Jaguar right for appearing on Piers Morgan Uncensored, where she called out Diddy and Jay-Z for fueling so much of Hollywood's mess. Ray J jumped in to shield them, saying, I mean, really, we got to move away from this type of destructive energy and focus on building, not tearing down. Our culture needs more truth and integrity, not chaos and confusion. People were listening. You got your attention. Is what you're saying true? Because this is outrageous. But I came to the conclusion that once I seen a story about me and what you had to say about me and situations in my past, that is where I started to understand that you are totally fabricating stories and you are a complete liar. So that means that I have no respect for you and nothing you're saying. So now I'ma go further. How dare you disrespect Jay-Z and Beyoncé? Jay-Z is an OG. Don't ever disrespect Beyoncé. And this wasn't a one-time thing, by the way. But seriously, why is Ray J out here defending the Carters like his life hangs in the balance? Well, if the rumors are true, his life might literally depend on it, and his ties to the Carters run deeper than anyone realizes. Enter Jonathan Hay, Rihanna's former publicist. Yep, the same guy who was in her corner during the early Panda replay days, and he's been linked to pushing this story as well. Jonathan even claimed that Ray J and Beyoncé actually hooked up. And the craziest part? Jay-Z was allegedly just standing there watching. Honestly, it's giving major Hollywood swingers club vibes. Keep in mind, Jonathan was already getting attention because he was Rihanna's publicist when whispers about Ray J and Jay-Z's supposed affair were swirling. And he actually spoke to All Hip Hop not too long ago, spilling more on the old scandal. He explained that after trying to get a mention on MTV News and failing to create the hype he wanted, he decided to push the affair rumor because he was angry at Hope at the time. Anyway, he said, I started to get desperate and I was so angry at Jay-Z as he was more focused on Tiara Marie. And there was all this talk that he was pursuing a rapper named Lady Sovereign who he ended up signing months later. Not to mention Jay-Z was constantly dissing Emil, who had to quit the music industry and was living in North Carolina at the time raising her children. The same Emil who claimed Beyoncé definitely wanted to hook up with her and then basically vanished from the industry after exposing Bey. Now Jonathan also revealed he was stopped by federal agents, who he says were closely watching Jay-Z ever since his incident with Lance Rivera, and he was also being tied to an incident with R. Kelly during their joint tour. Jonathan claimed that one day unmarked law enforcement cars pulled him over, and the intimidating men introduced themselves as a federal task force demanding to talk to him. So he followed them to speak and was absolutely freaking out. He said that while sitting in the bleak, makeshift interrogation room, being grilled by them, the full weight of the situation finally hit him. Apparently, the feds clarified that they were investigating Hovey for allegedly engaging in X-rated activity with Rihanna when she had not yet turned 18, and illegally transporting her across international borders. According to him, the Fed said she wasn't the only one. There were many others. Honey, ever since then Jonathan has been serving non-stop tea about Jay-Z and Beyoncé, including claims that Jay-Z allegedly has a thing for transgender women. Did I say allegedly?
Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women. So I don't know why. I wish Dame Dash would come out and, say everything, but maybe in his own way, he's trying to, protect the hip hop culture and knows how many people could be crushed if he came out and really spoke about Jay.
Okay, that's beside the point. What we really care about today is that Jonathan explicitly claimed Jay-Z gets off watching Beyoncé with other men because that's his thing. Then he added that, according to what he's heard, Ray J is one of the men allegedly hooking up with Bey while Jay-Z watched.
Yes, Ray J, from what I was told, from being inside at the highest level, that Jay-Z likes to watch Beyoncé with different men, such as Ray J.
Honestly, nothing in Hollywood really shocks me anymore. And the way Jonathan delivered those claims with such certainty just makes them hit harder. On top of that, plenty of people are saying they aren't even fazed by these allegations. Why? Because word on the street is that Beyoncé supposedly has a long-standing reputation for being, let's just say, a little wild off camera. And allegedly hooking up with Ray J while Jay-Z watched? Not exactly shocking. For context, there have been plenty of stories about how Beyoncé was reportedly being passed around in her early days. There are even claims that Pimpy's death was connected to an alleged tape of Beyoncé he supposedly planned to leak, and that Jay-Z allegedly took action before he could.
Was in this Pimp C tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they went to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. A lot of people figured out because, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little...
In fact, DJ Paul of 3-6 Mafia said something just didn't make sense. He mentioned that Pimp's manager described seeing his body lying as if he were praying, but with blood all around like he'd been struck. They figured he was probably hit in the head, but had no clue what really happened because blood was everywhere. According to DJ Paul, Pimp was kneeling like he was praying, and the candles were completely burnt down. So, they figured he'd likely been dead for a day or so since he always lit those candles before bed. The rumor mill pointed at Jay-Z being involved. Things weren't helping either, as there was already tension between Jay-Z and Pimp. On an episode of The Art of Dialogue, record exec Greg Taylor shared a story about an awkward encounter that went down over the phone with Jay-Z and Pimp. The story goes that right after the deal for Jay-Z and UGK to team up on Big Pimpin' was finalized, he called Pimp. And during the call, which, unfortunately, was on speakerphone, he broke the news, and Pimp immediately clapped back at Jay-Z, saying he should give the money he promised to Tupac's mom instead.
Set it up a meeting to go meet with Dame Dash. So we go, after I leave Java, go to Rock, to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, could have checked for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. I was like, is this for sure? He was like, nah. He said, we want to UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to put your board. That's right. So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. Because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp. And Pimp and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
It was fighting. They was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what's going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we want is 100,000. I was just like, who's that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook, he writing it out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my shit. I was like, what?
Anywho, there were also whispers that Beyoncé and Mos Def were getting cozy. And while neither Beyoncé nor Mos Def have ever openly confirmed anything romantic, and their public appearances and collaborations are mostly professional, there were rumors circulating back then hinting at a romantic link between them. In fact, Cypher Sounds even shared a story about spending a weekend with Destiny's Child early in Beyoncé's career, before she reached superstar status. Cypher Sounds admitted up front that he didn't, being all that impressed by Beyoncé, whom he just saw as a pop singer, but he ended up thinking she was actually pretty cool. Then, while telling the story, he specifically mentioned remembering that Bey and Mo were definitely getting cozy.
And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyoncé's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyoncé to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started all the girls.
So yeah, if we're talking about her allegedly hooking up with Ray J while Jay-Z watched, to many people it doesn't sound far-fetched. No cap. It casts Ray J's non-stop ride-or-die energy for the Carters in a completely new light. It's giving major guilty conscience, mixed with hush-hush agreement vibes. Some people online are even guessing that Ray J stays loyal because he's already crossed the line with their secret arrangement. But here's where it gets crazier. Word on the street is that Brandy, Ray J's own sister, allegedly caught Ray J and Beyoncé together back in the day. Yep, you heard that correctly. According to these rumors, Brandy allegedly walked in on them in a very compromising moment. And the tea doesn't end there. Some people are even claiming that a tape exists somewhere, similar to Ray J's infamous moment with Kim K or Beyoncé's alleged tape with Pimp C. Now, whether this tape is real or just an urban legend that refuses to die online is anyone's guess. But the fact that people are even entertaining the idea of Brandy as a witness adds yet another wild twist to this saga. I mean, picture your own sister being the one to catch you tangled up with one of the biggest superstars in the world. I personally don't know what to believe, but let me know if you think Ray J being super defensive of the Carters is sus in the comments below.